For many years, the British royal family has kept its secrets locked behind palace walls. But this time, the silence has been broken by someone no one expected: Princess Anne. In a private meeting with only three people present, Princess Anne, Prince William, and Prince Harry, she revealed something that left both sons of King Charles completely stunned. It was the king's final wish before his death. This was not an ordinary request, nor was it written in any official will. It was deeply personal, yet powerful enough to potentially shake the future of the monarchy. William was speechless. Harry was in shock. And the most astonishing part was the reason why King Charles chose to keep this secret until the very last moments of his life. So what exactly did the king wish for? Why was Princess Anne the only one he trusted with this revelation? And how might this change the destiny of the throne itself? Get ready to uncover a truth that has never been told. A silent transition unfolded. When Prince Harry arrived alone at Windsor, it was impossible to ignore. Meghan wasn't by his side, and that spoke louder than words. Even the staff could sense it. This wasn't a typical royal family meeting. The hushed voices made it clear. Harry's solo arrival underscored the growing distance between him, Meghan, and the rest of the royal family. Inside the ancient palace walls, the silence was heavy, as if everyone was holding back 100 unspoken thoughts. Heightened security signaled this wasn't about small talk or catching up. It was about the monarchy's future. Even Prince William didn't know where it was headed. King Charles, who would normally lead such a meeting, remained silent. Instead, he asked Princess Anne to speak for him. That alone broke royal tradition and signaled the gravity of the moment. Charles hadn't been seen much lately, and those who had seen him knew his health was visibly declining. By choosing Princess Anne to speak, he made a deliberate choice. Anne, known for her directness and composure, wasn't selected merely for practicality. It meant something deeper. In a family that often tiptoes around issues, Anne could be trusted to speak plainly. Her presence at the forefront told everyone how serious this was. The seating arrangement spoke volumes. Instead of the usual hierarchical order, family members sat in a circle, yet the physical distance between Harry and William was noticeable, a silent testament to the rift that had grown over the years. Traditionally, King Charles would have addressed the family directly, asserting his authority as monarch. By choosing Anne, he conveyed both trust and urgency. Anne's presence bridged the old guard and the future, reminding everyone that the monarchy must evolve while preserving its core values. When she finally spoke, her words cut through the tension like a knife. This wasn't just another royal update, it was a massive turning point. The slow handover of duties everyone expected was suddenly being accelerated. Prince William looked surprised. The crown wasn't years away, as he had thought it was just months. The family erupted in divided words and opinions almost as soon as Anne finished speaking. Prince Edward, usually a peacemaker, found himself caught in the middle. Even Camilla, who rarely speaks in such moments, said the changes were moving too fast. Everyone was grappling with what they just heard, and old tensions quickly surfaced. Charles felt he had no choice. His health was failing, and with the monarchy weakened by scandals, public doubt, and family drama, something had to change quickly. He'd spent sleepless nights crafting this plan, confiding only in his most trusted allies. Having Anne deliver the message wasn't just strategic, it was intentional. He needed someone who could speak hard truths without ceremony. But this wasn't just about passing the throne to William. It was about reimagining what the monarchy should be in a world growing increasingly skeptical of it. Polls showed support for the royals dropping fast, especially among young people in nations questioning the monarchy's relevance. Charles knew they couldn't keep following the same script. He proposed bold changes: fewer royals on duty, more public access to palaces, and complete transparency about the monarchy's finances. Ideas once unthinkable were now presented as the only solution. William remained the heir, but he'd inherit a very different monarchy, not one of parades and crowns, but one focused on relevance, impact, and adapting to the times. What happened at Windsor wasn't just a gathering, it was a wake-up call. The silence that followed wasn't just shock, it was the sound of history being rewritten. A legacy forged in fire emerged. Charles didn't make this decision lightly. It stemmed from a lifetime shaped by royal pressure, personal sacrifice, and echoes of past crises. In 1936, the royal family was rocked when Edward VIII abdicated to marry Wallis Simpson, an American divorcee. This happened less than a year into his reign. That choice thrust his younger brother, George VI, into a role he was unprepared for, nearly toppling the monarchy. That moment taught the Windsors a hard lesson. Change can come swiftly and on its own terms. When George VI died in 1952 at age 56 from coronary thrombosis in his sleep, his daughter Elizabeth became queen at 25. She was young, unprepared, and faced with an immense burden. Yet she embraced it, becoming a constant in a changing world for 70 years. But even during her steady reign, the royal family faced pressures behind the scenes. Charles grew up watching his mother sacrifice everything. She gave her time, freedom, and often her personal happiness to the crown. Queen Elizabeth's official duties began when her first two children were young. She and Philip embarked on a 6-month Commonwealth tour soon after her coronation. Leaving Charles and Anne at home in England, her generation often left child rearing to household staff. As a boy, Charles learned early that being royal wasn't a dream, it was a duty. He felt his mother was cold and aloof, a reflection of her role. For Elizabeth, being queen meant sacrificing herself. When she passed in 2022, the monarchy lost more than its longest-serving monarch, it lost its anchor. Her death exposed the fragility beneath the surface. Then came Charles's cancer diagnosis. Suddenly, he wasn't just a new king, he was a man racing against time. Charles had waited decades for the crown, only to realize he might not wear it long. Historians noted the irony: the monarchy often delays transitions until it's almost too late. Charles didn't want that for William. He knew firsthand how damaging it could be to assume the role unprepared. So he began planning not just for his exit, but for a smoother handover. Though known for patience, Charles was now in a hurry. The monarchy, once a symbol of strength, was now delicate. Every event he attended was backed by a medical team, every appearance precisely timed. He studied how other European royal families collapsed after rushed abdications and was determined to avoid those mistakes. Liberalism, nationalism, and World War showed that hereditary monarchies were mortal. So Charles made bold moves unimaginable in past reigns. He called for total financial transparency and supported Ethiopia's request to return the sacred artifacts taken during the 1868 Battle of Magdala. He even proposed turning parts of royal estates into affordable housing. Behind closed doors, William and Catherine began taking on more responsibility. Insiders revealed William now received the famous red boxes containing government documents, a clear sign Charles was passing the baton. But this wasn't just about succession, it was about survival. Charles didn't focus on legacy in the traditional royal sense. He wanted a monarchy that could thrive in a changing world, not stuck in the past, but evolving, ready for William's time. In reshaping the future, Charles was proving even an ancient crown could adapt and endure. The rift that shook the crown was undeniable. No royal family is immune to conflict, but the divide between Prince William and Harry has been one of the most public and painful in recent history. Once inseparable brothers, their relationship has fractured under personal grievances, media scrutiny, and differing visions for their futures. The rift's origins are complex, spanning years of intense media attention, disagreements over royal duties, and Harry's decision to step back from the royal family with Meghan Markle. This move shocked the world and sent ripples through the monarchy. Interviews, memoirs, and public statements have deepened the divide, exposing raw emotions and unresolved tensions. For William, the future king, Harry's departure felt like a betrayal. He has taken on more responsibility, determined to uphold the monarchy's traditions and stability. Harry, meanwhile, has sought a new identity outside the palace, prioritizing personal freedom and mental health. Their divergent paths have created a gulf neither has fully bridged. This rift doesn't just affect the brothers, it has shaken the entire royal family and captivated the public. It raises questions about loyalty, duty, and what it means to be royal in the 21st century. Can the family heal these wounds? Or is the monarchy entering an era defined by division? William's wife, Catherine, might have some sympathy for her brother-in-law. After Harry's bombshell interview following his lost security appeal, the Princess of Wales reportedly urged her husband to reconcile with his estranged brother. Speculation swirled that division was unavoidable. As she continues, Catherine has encouraged working royals to ease up on Harry. She urges them to reach out and make peace. This is what Charles longs for. However, reality makes it challenging. Reconciliation seems unlikely, but Catherine is trying, knowing the family can't afford more tragedies or scandals. Her strength comes from staying grounded despite entering a family rooted in tradition and hierarchy. She handles public challenges adeptly. Her approval ratings often outpace other royals, including William at times. Catherine has quietly become the heart and soul of the royal family. Her warmth, especially with Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis, and Prince George, reflects the deep bonds she's built at home. Even the Queen's famously picky corgis, wary of strangers, seem to lower their guard around Catherine. In a family known for its stiff upper lip, she has gently introduced a softer, more emotionally present parenting style without disrupting centuries of tradition. Instead of breaking royal customs, she's woven humanity into them. But times have changed. The royal family no longer lives behind palace walls. Today, their activities are captured, uploaded, and watched by millions globally in real time. This contrasts with Queen Elizabeth II's reign, when news took hours or days to travel and could be filtered through trusted broadcasters. Now, a single tweet or video clip can shape global headlines in seconds. Every royal outing risks going viral, and every misstep could spark a PR firestorm. Charles recognized the changed rules when he became king. He acted swiftly, establishing the Royal Social Media Council, combining traditional advisors with sharp young digital experts. Their mission was to keep the monarchy relevant online. Some traditionalists worried it might lead to chasing clout or diluting dignity, but the results were impressive. The council now works behind the scenes, tracking global online reactions, identifying issues before they escalate, and shaping how the family communicates with the public. In a recent BBC interview, Prince Harry expressed a desire to reconcile with his family, especially given his father's ailing health. "I would love reconciliation with my family," he confessed. "There's no point in fighting anymore. Life is precious. I don't know how much longer my father has." He noted that his father wouldn't speak to him due to security disputes, but hoped for reconciliation. The final wish emerged. King Charles's reign has been far from easy, yet behind the formalities lies a quiet, deeply human wish, unrelated to power or legacy. Late at night, those close to Charles say he lingers over old photo albums. He pauses on pictures of William and Harry as carefree young boys, when their bond was an unbreakable and life was simpler. He doesn't dream of bringing Harry back into the royal fold. That ship has sailed. But he dreams of something smaller, more fragile, a father-to-son conversation to end the silence. Though the rift with his son has widened, Charles never fully cut ties. When direct communication became too painful, he used trusted messengers to carry his words without inflaming wounds. For him, family isn't just a choice, it's a duty that endures, no matter the distance. "My mother was the queen for a very long time, and although you know it might happen, you don't really think about it much. That was my life. There was no way of telling it wasn't ordinary. I thought others grew up that way, but it was about helping children and a straightforward approach to health." Charles knows the monarchy must stand strong, but he also knows it rests on human bonds. Those bonds, especially between father and sons, are worth fighting for, even when frayed. As his health declined, this hope grew heavier. Time, once abundant, now felt scarce. That's why, during a quiet family gathering at Windsor, Princess Anne spoke up. Known for her honesty and respected by both brothers, she voiced her brother's wish plainly. Reconciliation, she said, wasn't just a kind idea, it was a responsibility. Even Anne wasn't sure it could happen. She's seen both sides dig in, pride and pain widening the gap. While she delivered Charles's message faithfully, she knew it was only half the battle. The rest depended on whether either son was ready to reach across the divide. In the end, Charles's final wish wasn't about royal image or legacy, it was deeply personal. It was the hope that his family might find a way back to each other before it was too late. William faces a profound choice. Will he honor his father's wish for a tentative step toward reconciliation? Or will he decisively close the door on Harry's departure from royal life? This decision will shape not only family dynamics, but also public perception of the monarchy for decades. The British public watches closely, aware that the royal family's unity or division reflects on the institution itself. Royal expert Hilary Forwich told Fox News, "Over the years, the gulf has widened between Prince William and Harry, due to Harry's public denigration of the royal family, not least in his recent BBC interview." She added, "Prince William is more resolved than ever to take action once he becomes king. His overriding concern is protecting the monarchy, which he sees as denigrated by commercial endeavors. Behind palace walls, advisors and strategists debate the best path forward. Some advocate for a clean break, removing titles, clarifying succession, and streamlining the monarchy to focus on those fully committed to royal duties. This group argues that decisiveness would bolster the institution's stability during transition. Others caution that an abrupt severance could backfire, potentially generating public sympathy for Harry and Meghan, especially amid Charles's declining health. Royal historians note that divided royal families have historically weakened the monarchy's standing. The abdication crisis of Edward VIII serves as a sobering reminder of the risks of internal discord. Those close to William report he's growing in confidence and willing to make tough, sometimes unpopular decisions. Charles's final message to his son wasn't just a plea for unity, it was a test of William's vision for the monarchy's future and his ability to balance institutional demands with family loyalty. The revelation of the king's wish peeled back layers to reveal William and Harry's true identities, not just as princes, but as brothers. Shaped by love, rivalry, and royal pressures, William embodies the monarchy's future. He carries the crown's weight with a duty ingrained since childhood. His identity is tied to tradition, responsibility, and leading with dignity. Yet beneath his poised exterior lies a man grappling with modernizing an ancient institution while honoring its legacy. "I don't think we can ever have peace with my family unless the truth is out," Harry has said. His identity is more complex. Stepping back from royal duties was a bold assertion of independence, a search for self beyond the palace. He represents a new kind of royal, challenging conventions and forging his own path. His struggles with mental health and media scrutiny have humanized him in unexpected ways. The king's final wish forced both brothers to confront who they are and what they mean to each other. It reminded them that despite their differences, their bond is rooted in shared history and family love. This moment of vulnerability opened the door to potential healing and a redefined relationship. For the monarchy, this revelation is significant. The future hinges not just on protocol, but on genuine connections between its key figures. William and Harry's journey from rivalry to understanding could shape the crown's legacy for generations. William's quiet revolution is taking shape, and as he nears the throne, it's clear he'll lead differently from his father. While Charles often took a reserved approach, William is ready to speak plainly, draw clear lines, and make tough decisions early. Insiders say that once king, he may formally strip Harry and Meghan of their Royal Highness titles. Though they stopped using them after stepping back, they technically retain them. For William, this gray area isn't just awkward, It's problematic in a world where headlines spread instantly. He believes the monarchy must be clear about who represents it. This conviction strengthened after a recent incident when a foreign diplomat mistakenly referred to Meghan as Her Royal Highness in a public post. It was a minor slip, but for William, it highlighted ongoing confusion. Such ambiguity, he feels, can no longer persist. To him, if someone walks away from royal duties, they shouldn't carry titles suggesting otherwise. It's about fairness, clarity, and protecting an institution under constant public scrutiny. The story of King Charles's final wish not only reveals a deep secret within the royal family, but also offers a valuable lesson about trust and the responsibility to uphold spiritual values. The king entrusted Princess Anne with his heartfelt desire, believing she would preserve and pass on this important message at the right time. This teaches us that the greatest legacy is not the throne or titles, but the spiritual values and family bonds that connect generations. This story also invites each of us to reflect when faced with the most important moments in life. What will you choose to leave behind for your loved ones? Material wealth or a meaningful and profound message? If this story has given you a new perspective on life and the person behind the crown, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue exploring more fascinating stories together. Leave your thoughts in the comments below because we truly appreciate every opinion from you.